Please forgive me. Like Rob said, my name is Kimberly. I work as a recovery support specialist for McDowell Ladder, which helps people with co-occurring disorders so they have mental illness on top of substance abuse. It's a 6-hour, 5-day-a-week treatment program, and that's what I do there. My story begins when I was 13, and I'm 24 now, so I'm sure you can figure it out. Unlike most 13-year-olds, I wasn't going to the mall or going to the movies or hanging out with friends or doing anything like that. I was hanging out with adults and getting high with them and drinking with them and partying with them. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 13. When I got my diagnosis, they put me on tons of medication, and the medication didn't work for me the way I thought it was supposed to. I was zombie all the time, wasn't really, myself, who I thought I should be. So I ended up self-medicating with other things. It started off really small. Actually, the first drug that I did was acid, so I guess that's not really too small, but regardless. So I experimented with a lot of different things. Eventually, by the end of it, I became a meth addict, and I was a meth addict for 3 years. I lost everything. I was, a high school dropout. I didn't have a job. I didn't have family. I didn't have a house. I didn't have anything. I hit rock bottom at that point. So I called my father when I was 16, and he was kind of in the picture, but kind of not. He was there enough that I could call him if I needed anything, but he wasn't like, I didn't see him every single day. I called him, and I was like, hey, Dad, I really need help. And he's like, okay, what's wrong? So I explained the whole entire situation to him. And he said, okay, you can come and live with me, however, you have to be sober. You have to go back to school. You have to, be an active member of society and of the family. And you have to completely disassociate yourself with everybody you used to do drugs with. So I was thinking, okay, well, that's cool. I can do that. I can manipulate the situation and do what I used to do with everybody else that said that they would help me, thinking that I could get away with it. Well, that wasn't the case with my father. As soon as I moved in, the doors came off the hinges to my bedroom. My room was constantly searched. I wasn't allowed to leave the room without his permission. He picked me up and dropped me off from school every day, and he called every hour on the hour to make sure that I was in class. I still tried to be, deviant and tried to say, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I ditched, and I smoked on campus, and I, did that whole thing, and he put a stop to that immediately. He was there for me in that sense, that he made sure that I was able to get sober. And just to backtrack a little bit, the first month of sobriety for me was the worst thing I have ever experienced in my entire life. I have been told by many different people that there's no such thing as detoxing from methamphetamines, and from my personal experience, I don't believe that at all. Only because I had the sickness, the physical sickness, where I was sick for days on end in the bathroom. I was, had the night sweats and the shakes, and my body hurt so bad. And I wanted to die at that point. It was so bad. And I, held up in my room, and I was just, nobody talked to me, nobody touched me, nobody did anything. And that was for about a week. And then afterwards, because of my bipolar disorder, because I was not being medicated for my bipolar disorder, I was very violent and very aggressive towards my siblings and towards other people. I did not know how to deal with not being medicated and detoxing and being sober and being an active member of the family. I didn't know how to deal with it. So through the guidance of my father and my family at the time, they helped me through it, work through it, process through it, do the whole nine. After about a month of sobriety, went back to school. That's when my dad did all the things, doors off the hinges, constant searches, etc. Eventually, I graduated. Even though I had dropped out of high school, I graduated with my graduating class in the top 10% of my class, being vice president of the National Honor Society. I got a scholarship. Thank you so much. I got a full ride scholarship to Chandler Gilbert Community College. Did that whole thing. Eventually, became an adult. Got out of my parents' house and started becoming an active member of adult society. I I have 8 years on the 28th of this month. That's my recovery. That's my sobriety, the 28th. And currently, I am a student at Mesa Community College for psychology. I am happily married, and I do have a child of my own that, you know, is 21 months and a typical 21-month-old. I do work for tarot, so my goal and my hope is to show people that even though you can lose everything and be an addict, you can still see the light at the end of the tunnel, and there is hope for everybody. I mean, there are tons of support groups. I mean, Taros is one of them. I mean, look around. There's tons of places that you can go to that can help you out. You know, family members are always there for you, even though you've done so much wrong. They're still there for you. There's just, it's not a lonely road. Like, so many people are like, you know, I'm isolated, I'm alone, and it's sad and it's scary. Yeah, no, it's sad and it's scary, but it's not a lonely road at all, because you have so many people there to support you and to help you out when you're going through it. And that's why I do what I do at Taros Ladders, is because I want to be able to show people that, hey, yeah, I had a crappy, you know, early teenage adolescence. I lost everything. I'm still a recovering addict. It's still a daily battle. But I am able to show other people that it is possible to gain all of these things even though you have lost everything. So that is my story. It's a very short story because, you know, but it's still my story nonetheless. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Kim.
Good story, Kim. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, the next speaker is